And
Charge 200.
This is brilliant.
Donna, bad day to drop the ball.
Charging 200.
Clear. Okay, he's back. 500 saline, get me an abdominal scan.
Ian Bridgewater, abdominal trauma suspected, intra-abdominal bleed. Miss Naylor, abdominal CT scan, please. And can we set up a separate triage point in the lobby?
I'm sorry, I need her here. Can you get that patient isolated? I don't want to risk cross-contamination.
For your information, there is a mobile decontamination unit in the car park with a queue of casualties stretching halfway around the block.
Okay, we'll start sending them through.
Look, we need to establish a system. We need to stick to it. If we all do our own thing, we will be swamped.
Severe inflammation of the eyes. If it was some kind of nerve agent, we'd have seen fatalities by now.
Oh, that's tempting fate.
Diane.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
Helping out my friends in an emergency, excuse me.
reports are...
Nurse Jackson, can we get this patient isolated, please? You're compromising our response here.
Why does his worship have to hang around? It's bad enough as it is.
Just get on with it, yeah?
There have now been 3.
Increase our throughput.
We need more isolation beds. I'm going to request access to another ward.
No, I need you here treating patients.
That's what I'm doing. Excuse me. Ms. Naylor. N-A-Y-L. Yes, we need more isolation beds. I'm sorry. No, I can't hold.
From the blast could have a wider geographical impact, according to latest weather reports.
Since when was she due back then?
Since she decides to help out her friends, apparently.
If this ever happens for real, I hope I ain't object.
Train hard, fight easy, you'd be okay.
It's a drill, it's not a war.
Tell that to the animal rights mob.
Well, let's hope we never have to do it for real.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Now then, first of all, I'd like to draw your attention to today's undercover assessment.
Thank you, Lord Byrne. We will be conducting detailed reviews with heads of department in Mr. Griffin's office, but there were a couple of things that we wanted to headline. First of all, Mr. Griffin, a perfect example of calm leadership under fire. Whereas, Mr. Durant, you might want to consider the importance of staying at your post. But I'm afraid our biggest note was on the lack of teamwork. Operations like today's stand or fall on our collective response. So if anyone has any comments on how we might do things better next time, now's the time to say. Anyone?
Yes, I'd just like to make a comment about isolation beds. I had the impression admissions hadn't thought it through properly. Perhaps it's something for the Strategic Health Authority to have a look at.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay, well, then that's it. Thanks very much.
Keller will remain closed for cleaning until 11. In the meantime, Darwin will cover any non-elective surgery.
Lord Byrne, about the situation with isolation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
bed.
Could I refer you to Miss Lloyd? She seems to have everything in hand.
Absolutely, I just wanted to...
Miss Naylor, this rather exemplifies our concerns about teamwork, wouldn't you say? Would you excuse me? They're expecting me on Darwin.
Lord Byrne?
Congratulations.
On what?
You're inside track with Byrne.
The new and improved Diane Lloyd. Now with added ambition.
Don't worry, you're not the only one with Noel Poix from the German jury.
Ms. Naylor? This is Clint. He's visually impaired. He fell into the docks and hit his head on a boat. Massive degloving scalp injury. ED reckons he's going to have stitches in theatre.
Yeah, okay, stop. Oh. Yeah, they're not wrong. Clint who?
Eastwood, for all I know. He's the man with no name. No ID, no surname, no notes.
Hypertensive and bradycardia. He must be registered somewhere.
Cardboard City Residents Committee, I reckon. Donna!
Right, look, there's no sign of fractures. Let's get him prepped for theatre, please.
Leave it go.
It's all right, it's all right.
He's barely been conscious. He probably doesn't even know he's here. Actually, could you ask Mr. Byrne to join me on this one, please?
Joseph?
Yes. There are CT complications, and I would rather not ask Mr. Hope, seeing as it's his first day back, if I can help it. Thank you. Trioproline on a curved needle, please. Thank you. It's awful about Elliot's wife.
Yes, awful.
Do you think he should be here?
I don't know if it helps him cope. Actually, I'm not 100% happy about this. He's got bradycardia. His heart rate is very slow.
Would you like us to stop?
It's okay. Right, good job you called me.
Joseph, that was working the last time I checked.
Yes, of course. Sorry.
So, did you learn much from this morning?
Yes, I might need to revise my approach in certain areas. Think more independently. Yes, how was it on Keller? I heard you said something about a German jury.
I tried independent thinking. It didn't go down too well with your father. Oh, that was Our degloving injury's coming round if you wanted to take a break. Revised major incident protocol.
Principles of flexibility. Thinking outside the box.
Well, don't think yourself too far outside it. You might never get back in.
It's the whole point.
No. No sign. Tried the police, charities, Sally Army, the lot.
What's going on?
Oh, great.
What's happening? Where am I?
It's okay. You're in Holby City Hospital. You fell into a boat on the docks. I'm Miss Naylor, and Mr. Byrne is here as well.
BP's 90 over 60, pulse is 44.
Ah! Ah!
Yeah, let me see.
Oh,
10 milligrams diamorphine, please. I'm afraid we had to stitch your head wound in theatre. You're going to be a bit sore for a few days.
no, I've already told you no.
Told us what?
To leave me alone, what do you think?
Be quiet. This is a hospital.
No, I heard your voice. Probably doesn't know where he is. That's what you said.
Excuse me, am I right in thinking that you didn't give your consent to this procedure, Mr.
Richard Price Thomas. Richard Price Thomas. No, I have a living will. It's in my notes.
We don't have your notes.
I have a severe peripheral vascular disease. Do not resuscitate.
Mr. Price Thomas, you were semi-conscious. We had to do what we thought was right for you.
Right for me? I was in the docks. What do you think I was doing? Taking a swim? Come on in, the water's lovely.
No pulse beneath the groin. Maybe an embolus from arrhythmia. CT angiogram, please.
You're wasting your time.
Mr. Price Thomas, there were some slight problems in theatre with your heart.
Severe peripheral vascular disease. I just told you, mate.
I'd like to run some tests.
Oh, what?
Now-
You don't believe me now, do you?
No, are you happy for me to continue?
Happy? I am ecstatic.
It's obviously in the light of your living will.
Why don't you just do what you want to do, eh? As you've done so far.
Yes, I'm very sorry about that. An echo, please.
There's a slight delay.
An echo, please. An echocardiogram, please.
Joseph. Joe, look, I'm sorry. He was semi-conscious, delirious. He didn't even have any ID on him. What are you doing? Joe? Joe!
It's not an approved...
Joe? No. No, please don't do this to me. Please do not do this to me. Joe, please. Joe! Joe!
Mrs. Holmes.
Please don't do this to me, Joe. Come on. Okay. Okay. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Come on. Come on, I need to get you up.
What happened?
Fentanyl happened. Who are you trying to kill? You or me?
Sorry.
Yeah, well, you will be if anyone sees you like this. Who are you playing at?
Don't.
Well, whatever it is, today is so not the day. So come on. Why fentanyl?
It calms me down. Stress.
What, you mean the exercise? Yeah, well, you're just in your surgeon. It's stressful. Look, I can't move you on my own. Do you want me to get some help?
No.
You just overdosed on
No
duty.
one. Promise. I'll just stay here for a bit.
And what if someone finds you?
No, you promise me.
Okay. I promise.
Just haven't had the...
Miss Naylor, where's Joseph? We're due in theatre.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen him. Mr. Hope?
Excuse me. Sally Price Thomas, my husband Richard.
Yes, he's through there.
What was he doing in the docks?
I don't know. We managed to stitch the scalp wound and we're just waiting on some test results.
You must have some idea. Hasn't he said anything?
I think it's best if you speak to him yourself.
No. No, he wouldn't.
Please, can you excuse me for a moment? I'll be back.
Excuse me, could you help me with this door?
Mr. Hope? It's all right. I've spoken to maintenance. They said not to touch it, health and safety or something.
Okay, well, better leave it. Thank you.
I was sorry to hear about everything. How have you been?
Fine, yes. Thank you.
Joe!
Thank you.
Look, this is crazy. Make an excuse and go home.
I'll be fine. I just need to freshen up a bit.
Joe, how long have you been doing this?
Now and again.
There's a whole party pack in there. Look, it couldn't hurt to see a specialist.
Fine.
Just about this stress
I'm
thing.
fine.
Look, if you'd like me to speak
Please,
to someone...
absolutely not.
I know a guy in psychiatry.
Do you mind if I get changed, please?
No. Of course, sorry. What was the original cause of your blindness?
They never said. They thought it was something vascular.
Can you describe to me what you can see?
Oh, not a lot, really. It's still blurred. Shapes, colours.
It's like a miracle.
There's no such thing as miracles, love.
Well, what's this then?
It's happened before. All right, I start to see shapes, I think. Perhaps I'll be able to see again, and then the colours just fade away.
I don't understand. When? Is there anything else you've forgotten to tell me?
Results of the angiogram.
I'm afraid the angiogram confirms acute thrombosis in the right leg. You have a blood clot we need to remove.
Could it be the vascular thing again? He has had a bit of a problem.
Obviously, we respect your decision.
Now, look, you've done your test. Let's just leave it now.
What do you mean, leave it? She said you can have surgery.
2 miracles in one day, so... Now, why don't you just go and buy me a lottery ticket? Life doesn't happen like that.
Richard, what are his chances?
If we don't operate, the leg will go gangrenous.
Oh, brilliant.
Once it's gangrenous, the leg will need to be amputated.
Sally, no way.
Without an amputation, you're unlikely to survive.
Richard.
Gangrene, amputations, heart attacks. I am knackered, Sally. Whatever way you look at this.
No, they can sort you out. Am I missing something here?
I'll just have the morphine, please. Thank you. Sorry, Sal, I'm not going to have an operation. Sal! Sally!
Mr. Price-Thomas, there is at least a chance.
No.
Can you page the on-call ophthalmologist, please? And you best get in touch with the pain control nurse as well. Joseph? What are you doing? You're not supposed to be here.
His sight, what happened?
We don't know. It could be a blood clot in the arteries of the retinas. When he bumped his head, he could have dislodged it and have restored the blood flow.
The retina dies after an hour without blood.
Yes, well, it's academic if I can't convince him to have the surgery.
Could be psychosomatic.
Joe, you're off games. Just go home.
I hate lying, especially to Mr. Hope.
Then leave it to me. Did you get rid of the fentanyl? Fine, I'll do it. Look, if you want to keep this quiet, then you've better get your backside into gear.
Ophthalmology report. Sorry, it's a fascinating case. You don't mind me?
No, not at all.
Bartimaeus. The blind man in the Bible. Jesus restored his sight.
Right, mixed news, I'm afraid. Ophthalmology have confirmed that your sight has returned, but they can't guarantee that this isn't temporary.
Told you. So much for miracles, eh?
Whereas when I tell you that we can sort out your vascular
I
problem...
have a living will. It's in lawyer's ink. Is that not good enough for you? This is my time.
Mr. Price-Thomas...
Does it mean nothing to you? A person's right to die.
What about a wife's right to know?
I'll increase the morphine.
Well, I don't know what the medical reason is, but I think he's blessed.
Well, there's no shortage of theories. It could be psychosomatic, triggered by anxiety or fear.
Psychosomatic blindness.
The operation could have given his subconscious permission to end the lie.
Well, I think I'll stick with the miracle.
Miss Naylor, have you seen Joseph? Miss Naylor?
Sorry, no, I haven't. Lord Byrne, I expect you've heard about the Price-Thomas case.
Yes, it's fascinating. Diane, I'm sorry to bother you, but I was just wondering, could you spare the time to put together a best practice guide for the Strategic Planning Committee?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'd love to.
I told them how well you handled everything this morning.
Would it be possible to discuss this later? I've just got...
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Actually, Lord Byrne, there's something I think I should have mentioned.
Of course, Miss Naylor.
It's about Joseph. I've been concerned about him since this morning. I thought he was just stressed at first after the exercise. But I'm beginning to think it might be more deep-seated.
Oh. And what makes you think that?
Well, I hope you won't think I'm speaking out of turn here, but I found him in the locker room just now. He'd taken an overdose of fentanyl. It's okay. I got to him pretty quickly. I gave him IV Narcolone. Made him comfortable.
Does anyone else know about this?
Nobody. Joseph asked me to keep it quiet. Would you like me to call him?
I'll handle it. I trust we can keep things between ourselves.
Absolutely. Mr. Price-Thomas, we're getting a bit close to the wire here.
All right. I'm ready.
Okay, I'm down to the vessel. Let's get this thing out of here.
I didn't realise you and Joseph were close.
Yeah, we're good mates.
I'm very fond of him. I like to think that people look out for their colleagues.
Absolutely.
And I know that Lord Byrne feels the same. I got ophthalmology to look over your patient's CT scan, by the way. I hope you don't mind.
Can I get you a glass of water?
Hi. How's the vision?
It's okay, thanks. It's like it was before I went under.
Good. Well, we won't claim it as the second miracle of the day, but we did manage to remove 2 blood clots. One from your leg and one from your heart.
Will it be all right? His heart?
Mr. Hope seemed happy enough.
See? Megan, stop being so damn miserable.
Actually, I think the depression and visual problems were probably more closely linked than you first realised.
How do you mean?
Well, I asked ophthalmology to have a look at your CT scan, and they found a tiny tumour on your pituitary gland. It's fine, don't worry. It must have been pressing on your optic nerve, and when you hit your head, it must have cut off the blood supply and with it.
So how would that make him depressed?
Well, the pituitary gland controls hormone release, so it's no wonder you've been feeling a bit out of sorts. Sorry, excuse me, the trust chairman would like to see me. I'll get Mr. Hope to come and speak to you before he goes, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You off to see the headmaster?
Just cashing in a few brownie points, thank you.
Miss Naylor. Do take a seat.
How is Joseph?
My son is fine. Thank you. Miss Naylor, what did we discuss this morning about teamwork? I was wondering if perhaps you'd forgotten.
No, of course I haven't forgotten.
Then can I suggest that in future, instead of trying to curry favour with me, you inform the head of the relevant firm when a colleague needs help? That'll be all. Thank you.
Pete Golding was...
Joe, wait. Look, I think I owe you an apology.
Yes, I think you do. I've been grounded for the week. No surgery. Mr. Hope thought it must have been something wrong with the fentanyl that I had.
Joe,
No,
look.
it's Joseph. Perhaps even Mr. Byrne.
I only went to your father because I thought he should know.
Yes, and you assume that this has made things easier between him and I.
Miss Naylor?
The Strategic Planning Board is looking for someone to take on the assessor role on a permanent basis, and I was wondering whether you might consider making an application.
Well, that's very flattering. Obviously, I'd have to think about it.
Lord Byrne?
Well, you could think about it over drinks. The area chairman is having key staff back to his office.
Actually, I think I have a previous engagement.
What? Ah.
I don't mean to be rude.
Not at all. No. No, I think that loyalty to one's colleagues is something to be valued. Wouldn't you say, Miss Naylor? Good night, Diane.
Night. Night.
Excuse me.
Yes, sorry.
I just wanted to say thank you. If it wasn't for you, he'd be dead. You really pulled him out the fire. You should be very proud of yourself.